Hi RCC, we are back. It's been 60 days. This is your next LX update. I got two pieces of feedback from the last one. The first was, thank you, that was helpful. It's really good to know that we can count on an update. The second was, that was kind of long. I'm not sure that I watched all of it, so I'm gonna try to make this one a little bit shorter. Hopefully that's possible because I don't have to bring you all the way up to speed, just what's been going on the last 2 months. So the first thing I wanted to let you know is on the financial side, we have received pre-approval from one of our two potential lenders. I think I told you that those were CFR, Christian Financial Resources, and WIF, the Wesley Investment Fund. And from CFR, which is an organization that's here in the state of Florida, Christian Financial Resources, feel free to look them up. They have given us a pre-approval up to the $6 million, which was our goal. So that's an important part of the process for us to move forward when the time is right. So we're excited that we already have pre-approval from one of our two lenders. And as we get closer, we'll decide between the two. Our All of Us campaign, we are still just under 3 million, well, not just under, it's at 2.8 something in donations given. Our pledges are about 4.8, so under 5. Our original goal was 6, but here's who I want to talk to. Many of you have given but have not pledged, and I mean a lot of you, like almost as many that have pledged. I think around 40 of you are giving to this but haven't pledged. And you say, well, what's the big deal? What does it matter if I pledge? Well, it helps us plan and know when we've met our goals for pledges. So what I would love for you to do is we're gonna make this easier. Instead of paper this time, we're gonna present you with a digital pledge form option. And as you know, we're on Planning Center, and Planning Center actually has a pledge function built into it. So you can track your pledge, you can see your progress, all of that will pop up in your dashboard. So I'm gonna ask that everyone that's giving to All of Us makes a pledge. You know, well, how do I know what to pledge or any of that? I would just look at what you've given so far and just take an average and plan from there. Just something that you know is sustainable, that might stretch you a little, but at the end of the day, it's whatever you and your household feel comfortable with. What's important for us is that we know how much everyone's planning to give so that we know when we've met our goal for pledges. That really helps us plan and helps us look into the future. All right, so what's actually been happening over on the site? These words will mean something to a few of you. I've been learning as I go on this process. But the first thing I wanted to let you know is that over at 3405 Atlantic with the new space, drilling is completed with a process called geotech. And that's where they drill into the soil in several locations around the building and in the surrounding areas. And what they're doing is they're determining the consistency of the soil, a few other things that go into the earth underneath the first layer there to see what kind of foundation we need. So there's maybe something you can pray into there spiritually. Some of you prayer warriors, but the foundation of the building is important. And in order to determine what kind of foundation, we have to check the soil. So that's the geotech process. The site survey is in progress. A survey just determining the height, the dimensions, all of that of everything outside the facility. So this is going to be helpful for us planning, site planning, landscaping, parking, all of that stuff. So that's in progress right now. We're expecting our next revised plan from the architects on October 16th. So we'll have another meeting, another step in the process, and this will be architectural, structural, HVAC, which is AC and heating, electrical, plumbing, fire protection, all that stuff. So we're expecting to have that meeting here in a couple of weeks. And I believe I mentioned this 2 months ago, we're still working on the possibility of dual permitting for the demo and then the reno. So if you remember, the building on the left is going to come down. The building on the right is going to be renovated. So we're going to build on the footprint for the older Christian education building, and then we're going to renovate the building on the right. So we're trying to get some action going over there, but also we just want to help speed the process along. So if we can, we're going to pursue the demo first as a second permit so that we can bring that thing down to the ground, assess anything that needs to be assessed, anticipate any problems if there are any, and that way when it is time for the reno and for the full project to take place, there won't be any holdups because we'll address those first. The permitting process for the renovation of the facility on the right will take longer, so that's why it could also make sense to just go ahead and do a shorter permit process for the demo. Last but not least, something you can pray about. If you're looking directly at the two buildings there on 3405 Atlantic, On the right, you would have Gay Street. Across from that's the field where we've done Christmas in St. Nicholas. On the left, you have Linden Street. On the other side of Linden Street, you have about a 5,000 square foot facility called Miller & Miller, insurance company. We've been in conversations with these guys since the beginning because we've known that at some point they were planning to sell that facility. We've had it in the back of our mind that we would love to have that facility because we're gonna need it eventually for something. But right now it would meet a lot of practical purposes like office space, medium-sized gathering space. There's also a cool advantage in that there's a little tract of land behind it that we purchased way back in the beginning, even before we purchased the building. Just a little tract of land that would be adjacent to that. So that would be a larger piece of property that we would own there. There's parking in front of it, but it would really solve some storage, practical problems. But then in the future, who knows what could be there? That could be a future youth facility, places for training and equipping. The possibilities are endless. So as you drive by the building and as you think about it, look at the Miller building. We're in negotiations with them right now. We're considering it. We're looking at the finances apart from the campaign as of right now and seeing what we're able to do with making an offer to those guys because we really sense that that building could be a part of the big plan that God has for us over in St. Nicholas. It's going to help us sustain growth and move forward. So be praying about that as we pursue it. I love you all. I think that was shorter than last time. This is your LX update. Expect the next one before the end of the year. All right, guys, talk soon.